Hello everyone, hope you're doing good, hope you are doing well. Welcome back to another video as together we look ahead to these crucial World Cup qualifiers coming up in the African section. Forget the Euros, no one cares about that. This is what everyone's looking forward to this summer. Well, it is if you're watching this. So as you know, before the AFCON, it feels like a century ago, the FIFA World Cup qualifiers kicked off for Africa to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. A reminder, there's 9 groups. Every group winner will qualify, and there'll be an extra spot for one of the best runner-ups. The best 4 that come second are going to play a tournament, then we'll play someone from Asia or something. Very complicated. Just win your bloody group if you want to go to the tournament, please. And I think with this new format, double the teams, brilliant for Africa. I think there's going to be a few teams that will go to the World Cup for the first time in their history. There's plenty of sides here that have got unbelievable opportunity of going to the World Cup and they've never been before. So every country, or pretty much every country, is going to play 2 games, match day 3, match day 4. Those games will take place between the 5th of June and the 12th of June. So it's all going to get done before that thing called the Euros and that other thing called the Copa America even kick off. I mean, we have had our tournament already this year, to be fair. Wasn't great for us. It was a great spectacle though. So let's run through these 9 groups. Let's look at the situation. Let's look at what we have to expect. So as you can see, in Group A, you've got Egypt sitting pretty on 6. So they obviously won 2 out of 2. Burkina Faso and Guinea-Bissau on 4 points each. Sierra Leone, Ethiopia on 1. Djibouti on none. Now I think you're going to find a pattern in these games. The pot 1 team are going to play the pot 2 team. That's going to be massive. Because 1, if one of them wins, it will give them a huge boost. 2, if they draw the game, the 2 teams involved, all the other teams have got a great chance of making it. Sierra Leone played Djibouti. I think Sierra Leone will win. Guinea-Bissau, I think, are looking good. You look at the 4 points. They'll be Ethiopia, and they'll be hoping Egypt and Burkina Faso draw. And Egypt have got a tough game in Bissau in the second one. If they go to Guinea-Bissau and don't win, and Guinea-Bissau beat Ethiopia, you know, Egypt could be facing a real battle there against Guinea-Bissau. Burkina Faso will win at home to Sierra Leone, and I think Djibouti will lose again to Ethiopia. I think Burkina Faso and Guinea-Bissau both win their home game. I don't think Egypt will. I think Egypt and Burkina Faso are going to draw. I think Burkina are a very, very underrated side. They've been so close to the World Cup twice, and this country called Algeria have stopped them both times. But of course, they did draw to us at the recent AFCON. Always love a 2-2 against Burkina. So I think Egypt and Burkina draw. I think Guinea-Bissau and Egypt will draw. So I think Egypt will actually draw both these games, funnily enough. And I really think it could be a 3-way battle, Egypt, Burkina and Guinea-Bissau. So that's a really interesting group. And Salah had that injury at AFCON, went home, said he was going to come back, never went back because Egypt went out. You do wonder, is it still an informed Salah? And of course, Egypt have the Olympic Games as well. And I'm pretty sure Egypt are going to try and get Salah to play that. So a big summer for Mo Salah and Egypt. Moving on to Group B, and I was going to say Senegal are the African champions. They're not, are they? It's Cote d'Ivoire now. They're on 4, level with Sudan. Now, Sudan got a brilliant win against DR Congo, but again, this was the DR Congo before the AFCON. So they look fantastic now. They look in great shape. Togo play South Sudan. Togo with 2 draws, unbeaten, and I think they will win this game against South Sudan. Now, Mauritania have got 1 point from 2 games, and I can't lie, it makes me bloody sick. They're absolutely rubbish. They're so bad, and we lost to them. They have 1 point from 2 games. Mauritania. And we lost to these mugs. I'm still not over it. It's embarrassing. It's actually awful. Now, they play Sudan. Now, if they didn't beat Algeria at AFCON, I'd say Sudan would actually might go and win this. But this resurgent Mauritania, if they can beat Algeria, surely they're going to get something against Sudan. And then the big game is Senegal, Congo. And of course, Congo, Kinshasa had a great AFCON comparison to Senegal. That's going to be a great game. Senegal, if they want to prove that they're still the big boys and that Cisse is still the man, they're going to have to beat the DRC. I think Congo will win at home to Togo. And then the mid-off, the derby, Burnley versus Fulham, South Sudan, Sudan. I mean, what's going to happen here? It's going to be a great game. The halfway line is going to be like the border, really. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. But with Sudan on 4, they're going to be looking at this as a fixture they need to win. And that's going to be a fierce rivalry. And then I think Mauritania will lose to Senegal. So Senegal, I think, will win both games. I think the DRC will get back in the mix with a win against Togo, but there's still 6 games after this, so this is not even halfway. After this has happened, anything can change. We saw DRC for the AFCON qualifiers actually lose their first 2 and then end up coming 4th in the tournament, so always interesting. Group C is unbelievable, right? You got South Africa, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Benin. None of them are top. It's Rwanda on 4 points. Quite extraordinary. They're on 4. South Africa on 3. Nigeria on 2 because they drew to Lesotho last time. They've changed the manager. The Portuguese waiter is the big Portuguese waiter has left. Lesotho on 2. Zimbabwe on 2. Benin on 1. So last place and first place only separated by 3 points. Now Nigeria play South Africa in a repeat of that AFCON semi-final. South Africa will be looking for revenge. Benin, Rwanda, I think Benin will win, and I think Zimbabwe will win at home to Lesotho. And then match day 2 gets interesting for me, because I think if Rwanda beat Lesotho, which I think is possible, Rwanda are going to be right in the mix. South Africa, Zimbabwe is a derby. I think South Africa win that with all those Mamelodi players from the Sundowns. They've got the best keeper in Africa in Ron Wayne Williams. So I think South Africa will get at least 3 points. I think they'll beat Zimbabwe at home. And then Benin, Nigeria. It's not an easy place to go. We don't know how Nigeria are going to look because the coach is different. They played very defensively and got to the final with the counter-attacks. Truce to Kong in the air, Osimhen. Of course, they've got Lookman, who was brilliant in the Europa League final as well. There's going to be a lot of teams on similar points, but South Africa, Nigeria and Zimbabwe are all playing catch-up. Zimbabwe will win a game here. South Africa will win a game. Rwanda will win a game. I think the Nigeria-South Africa game will be crucial. And I think if Rwanda gets something in Benin, they have to be taken seriously. But boy, Nigeria, after not beating Lesotho last time, have work to do. As do Cameroon. I mean, look at this in Group D. You've got Cameroon, Cape Verde and Libya all chilling up there with the 4 points. Angola on 2 with Mabalulu and all that, who got to the AFCON quarterfinals. Mauritius with a point. They drew to Angola last time. I don't know how they got a point. They're a beach. And Eswatini on 0. So Libya, this could be huge. I mean, we talk about North African teams. You talk about Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt. We don't talk about Libya, and even Sudan to an extent, really, if you want to include them. Sudan on 4. Libya have done very well here, and Libya will beat Mauritius, I'll tell you that now. So they'll go straight to 7. Angola will beat Eswatini. They'll go to 5. Cameroon, Cape Verde. Cameroon have changed the coach. Eto'o, still in all sorts of problems since he paid off bloody Gassama in that game against us. I'm still fuming about it, right? Cameroon, of course, back in World Cup qualifying action without Bakary Gassama at the helm. Cape Verde got further at AFCON than Cameroon. That'll be a close game. Mauritius will play Eswatini again. I don't think it will affect the outcome. Cape Verde, Libya will be huge. If Libya, you want to be taken seriously, Libyans, yeah? You Tripoli guys, you got to go to Cape Verde and get a result. Angola, Cameroon, I think Cameroon will drop points there, and it will open up Angola's opportunity to qualify if they get a good result. So I think you've actually got 4 teams there in Cameroon, Cape Verde, Libya and Angola, and for sure Libya and Angola will win a home game here. This is wide open. This is not a foregone conclusion. Group E is a really weird group, not because Morocco are in it, but because there's only 5 teams. Don't know what that means for the second place teams, because of course teams in Group E can't get as many points as teams in the other groups because there's less teams. So our CAF going to rule out results against the last place team when they look at who comes second. We wait to see that. Now Morocco are top, only played 1 game, but they're top. Everyone else has played twice. They're cruising. They will win at home to Zambia and probably get a point. Congo away. Zambia play Tanzania at home. Of course, again, a repeat of an AFCON game. That's going to be tight. And of course, Zambia will have that after playing Morocco away, whereas Tanzania only have 1 game. So I think Tanzania might cause problems there. And I think Congo will play well against Niger at home as well. So a bit of an odd group, but Morocco will lead the way. I don't think Niger will do anything. I know they've got 3 points, and I think Zambia, Tanzania and Congo will fight for the second, but we're going to see what CAF do there because it's not fair that they've got less games to play to get points in. Group F, a resurgent Gabon, who didn't even make the AFCON, are battling with Cote d'Ivoire, who won the AFCON. They're both on 6, they play each other. Gabon, Aubameyang there, scoring goals for fun for Marseille. They've got Lamina from Wolves and his younger brother who's playing for them as well. That's a big game, but Cote d'Ivoire will win. Gabon have got a big shout to come second, already with 2 wins. Kenya, Burundi will be close. Great to see Kenya back in qualifying action. Gambia, Seychelles. Gambia, a new era with Uncle Tom leaving. I think they'll win that. Ivory Coast go to Kenya. They'll be so full of confidence. Or would they be hungover from winning AFCON? Gabon, Gambia, I think Gabon win that, and I think Burundi will beat the Seychelles. So I think Cote d'Ivoire, you know, the champions of Africa here, they come into this with bags of confidence. They missed the last 2 World Cups. I think they're going to cruise this group, to be honest. I think Gabon on 6 will be the second place team. I think that could be already done, to be honest. and the other teams have just got to try and get as many points. Now we come to Group G with the greatest team in the world in it, Botswana. No, I'm kidding, Algeria. So Algeria have 6. Guinea, Botswana, Uganda and Mozambique all sit on 3. Somalia on 0. But listen, this is not about the points Somalia get. What an occasion that they're just involved. Usually they get one playoff. They don't even play AFCON qualifiers, do they? The fact that they're involved is amazing because they scored against us in Baraki, which, to be honest, for us was embarrassing, but for them was probably a bag holiday. I think if Somalia just won a game, respectfully, this would be a brilliant achievement. You saw in the last set of World Cup qualifiers what they did against Zimbabwe. And I think they could win here at home to Botswana. I think they're going to lose in Mozambique. Uganda, Botswana, we need it to be a draw. Algeria need as many of these games to be draws as possible. But there hasn't been a single draw in the group so far. Of course, Botswana beat Guinea. Now, if they can do that, respectfully, we should be doing it. Now, in Baraki, we've yet to have a big result, like a huge result. This is massive for Petkovic. We're at home to Guinea. We just can't lose. As we don't lose the game, it's okay. And then we've got to go to Uganda and get something. Guinea will win at home to Mozambique in their other game. I say at home. Of course, Guinea have a coup d'etat. All sorts of nonsense going on there. Army in charge. But Guinea are playing their home games in Morocco. I think it's in El Jadida. What happens when we have to play Guinea away next year? Are Guinea going to be able to play in the war zone with us? Or do we have to go to Morocco to play Guinea? I'm telling you now, Guinea-Algeria next year is played in Morocco. It's going to be all sorts of issues, all sorts of political issues. They've got to let Guinea host that game, even if the tanks are around the ground, because otherwise you can see problems. You saw what happened with the USMA game and the CAF Cup. Right, see that sort of thing happening again. But as for right now, Algeria need to take 4 points minimum from these. If we don't get 4 points from these two, it's going to be a bit shaky. You know what I mean? It's going to be a little bit way. So we have to do well here. If we lose at home to Guinea and then still have to play Guinea away, problems, isn't there? Big problems. We're thankful that Guinea lost to Botswana because that would have made it really difficult. And of course, thankful to Belmadi for winning in Mozambique. You saw what they did at the AFCON. They drew to Ghana, nearly beat Egypt. So that's a fantastic legacy there. Group H, it seems like Tunisia and Equatorial Guinea play each other every week. And guess what? They play each other next week once again in probably Rades. Now, both teams on 6. I think it will be Tunisia or Equatorial Guinea to make it from here, and one of them will get a second place spot, both on 6 points. Equatorial Guinea won the group, smashed Ivory Coast, went out in the last 16, but they have a great record against Tunisia. This will be a very tight game, and we know what the striker can do, and Suwe, who's a right back at club level. And then the other games, I don't really see them having too much of an impact. Namibia are playing Tunisia in the second game, and of course Namibia did beat Tunisia at the AFCON, which was a huge shock for the Tunisians. Sao Tome and Principe, what you doing here? It sounds like a password. And Malawi and Liberia, I just can't really see too much of an impact. It's a bit of a weak group, if I'm honest. I think I would have liked Algeria to have H, apart from Salvador and Equatorial Guinea. But Tunisia are poor right now. And you saw, I said before the AFCON they were poor, and people were slating me. They are poor. They're very lucky they have this group. And even Equatorial Guinea will cause them problems. So if Tunisia don't win this game, might not go to the World Cup. And Group I, we could be witnessing some incredible history here. Comoros, 2 wins out of 2. They beat Ghana last time, Ghana's worst nightmare. Ghana is still absolutely rubbish. Again out in the group stage like us at the AFCON. Mali on 4. They've never been to the World Cup either. I think they were robbed against Tunisia to go to Qatar. Madagascar and Ghana on 3. Central African Republic on 1. Chad on none. I think the Central African Republic will beat Chad. And of course, they have to play Ghana away in the second game, which is a repeat of the final AFCON qualifier last time. Mali-Ghana is huge in Bamako. Now, if Mali beat Ghana, Ghana have 3 points from 3 games. I think Ghana are out if they lose in Mali, which is incredible. To not have Ghana win the group would be extraordinary. They used to get the World Cup quarterfinal in South Africa. They went to the last World Cup. If they lose in Mali, they're in all sorts of trouble. Comoros, for me, could do something special. Could you imagine the scenes, right? Our Arab brothers, our Muslim brothers, Comoros, the Moonlot, make it to the World Cup. They got 2 wins. Now, if they go to Madagascar and do something, because they will beat Chad in the second game, I think they've got a great crop of players, Comoros, born in France, coming through. If they beat Chad in the second game, I think they will, they'll be on 9, and get a draw in Madagascar, they'll be on 10. Really, they're battling with Mali. So when we see Comoros play Mali, that will be, I think, a really important game. But Ghana have to get something in both these games, or they're in all sorts of trouble. So plenty of questions, and we're going to have the answers very soon in June, inshallah, when we see these games kick off. So let me know in the comments what game out of all these you're excited to see the most? I think Algeria-Guinea's huge. I think the Mali-Ghana game is absolutely massive. And I think Egypt-Burkina Faso could be a great watch as well. So, looking forward to these games. Drop a thumbs up if you are. Who's going to go to the World Cup? Well, I think right now you'd say Algeria. I'm going to say Equatorial Guinea. I'm going to say Mali, looking at it now. I'm going to say from Group D. I don't think Cameroon will go. I think Libya might do something. Morocco will go. Cote d'Ivoire will go for sure. Senegal will go. Oh, Nigeria have got work to do. I'm really not sure about C. South Africa might go, you know. And I think Egypt are going to have to get a result. They're going to have to beat Burkina Faso, I think, because Guinea-Bissau are breathing down their necks as well. Look, it's awfully tight. There's 8 games to go. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I'll see you next time.